Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to share with you guys what I made for last year across all platforms.
So we made so much we're retiring? We're not doing anything ever again?
No. And we're going to share, the trials and tribulations of full-time resellers when this is your primary income. So, you're always trying to figure out how to, make more, be better,
Spend less.
spend less. That's going to be key. We're going to have to rely on all the information. Robert pulled all this together for me. So if there ends up being an issue,
It'll be my fault like everything else.
it's Robert's fault. And then this week, we're getting this information together earlier than normal because, most of us don't file our taxes till after we start getting our 1099s and all of that. But we're seeing an accountant. We've been doing our taxes for a couple of years. We paid for years for an accountant to do them. But it got to the point where we had some issues with the accountant, and then it was like we were doing all of the work anyway. But we've got some life changes happening. My last child just turned 18, so he won't be on our taxes after this year. And then we're growing our business and we've just got questions. So this week we're going to be going to see a new accountant, and
We're going to look at, should we, instead of being a sole proprietorship under your name, should we change to an LLC? Is there a reason to, once we switch to an LLC, to also do an S corp, which can save money in taxes depending on your personal situation and your business.
Mm-hmm.
It can save you some tax money. And are we there where we need to do that? I don't know. Probably not, but we're not experts. We need to ask those questions of people that do know.
And we've talked about possibly hiring somebody. So, all of this is new for us. So it's a good opportunity for us to find an accountant and just kind of discuss growth, because that's the name of the game, right? All right, so Robert pulled all the information. It's on the spreadsheet that you guys are seeing. It's just kind of blocked off. Here we go. I'm nervous about this. Transparency is big in what we're doing. And, I try to show you guys everything that we're buying. And you guys know it's a lot of littles. I'm all about the bread and butter stuff. So I'm going to show you all the numbers so far that we can tell that we've done for last year. But then I'm also going to show you guys how it broke down as far as eBay and the dollar values of stuff that I sold. And then we'll talk about what we hope to accomplish this next tax year.
I hope you took new husband off your initial list.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm still fighting this plague. So first thing, eBay. eBay is our main platform. It's the one that I list everything on, and then I use List Perfectly to cross list to the other platforms. This year I have dropped Facebook Marketplace and I dropped Bonanza, but I will show you, what we made on those platforms before I quit using them.
Facebook Marketplace in 2021, you had 9,000 in sales on there, and I didn't even include it this year because it was just in the few hundreds. I didn't want to go dig up the information. So it was sad to see that platform no longer work for us for the amount of time you were spending on it.
Yep. So on eBay, I made $115,911. Not bad. It was actually a tad bit less than the previous year, but all year it just seemed like I was just struggling every month to make some of my goals. Like for me personally, I'd shoot for $2,100 a week. That's, and there were some weeks that I was not making it. And then fourth quarter, of course, made up for a lot of that. And I didn't pull that information up for you. I was going to show you guys how fourth quarter compared to the rest of the year, because, I say this a lot all through the year. I'm working towards fourth quarter. Everything that I'm doing, yes, this is our primary income, so I do have to, make my weekly and monthly budget. But we live a very, what's the word?
Frugal.
Frugal.
Fairly frugal.
Fairly frugal. Until the truck last month, we didn't have any debt other than the house.
We hadn't had a car payment since 2012.
Yes, it's been forever.
Well, no, we had one for a year in 2019, and we borrowed some because we didn't want to dip into savings that much.
Right.
But we try to be frugal. We live in
very frugal.
We live in a lower cost area, but that also means that we find lower cost items to resell.
Mm-hmm. So that's eBay. Then Poshmark. I just started Poshmark this year, probably February or March. I cross-list all of the clothing items, which we just started clothing items this year also. But I cross-list all the clothing and shoes to Poshmark, but I have been doing a whole lot more of hard goods and plush over there also.
We started clothes at the end of 2021.
Did we?
Yeah, it was later. It was later in 2021. We weren't doing a lot, but we did some in the later part of 2021.
Right. So on Poshmark I made, and these are gross, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This includes fees and shipping.
Right. This includes the fees and shipping. So this on Poshmark, $4,974. Mercari. So on Mercari, I made $2,425. Poshmark too. I kept getting suspended, so that was another reason why I didn't do as well as I had hoped. But I haven't cross-listed a whole lot to them either. And then Etsy. Etsy, I started in, 2019? 2020?
2021, I think.
Oh, 2021.
Maybe.
So,
I can't remember. It's been too long ago.
Yeah. This was its first full year also. $4,237.
But you don't put a lot there. You only put your vintage stuff and your tend to be higher dollar stuff.
Yep. A higher dollar vintage. And then Bonanza. I made $928 on there. I have turned Bonanza off because I got a notification that I had a Vero on Hershey and plush, yeah. And in order for me not, because Bonanza is connected to eBay, and every time I list something on eBay, it automatically goes to Bonanza. And the only way to stop it, because they said they were going to suspend me if I relisted these two items, was to have to approve every single listing that goes into Bonanza. And $928, it's not worth it.
And you relist every single one of your items every month. So you would have to make 10,000 approvals into Bonanza every month.
Every month. Not worth it to me. So.
And sales weren't that great anyway because you relist everything every month. It doesn't seem to percolate into the Bonanza system and get a lot of sales, because it seems like a lot of the sales on Bonanza might come from Google searches, and they're not on your stuff isn't on Bonanza long enough for Google to pick it up and it to start showing in the Google searches to get sold before you relist it as a new item, and it just can't be found.
Yep. And then Facebook, like Robert said, I went from selling almost $9,000 the year before to it's just a couple $100. We haven't gone into the bank account because it's awful getting reports from them. So the only way that we really can figure it out is to go into my bank account and download all the records, and then pull out what I actually came from Facebook Marketplace.
Maybe they've got some new reporting now since we've stopped.
I doubt it.
I hope.
No, I tried. I tried to download a report and I never got a response for this year. So, no. All right. And then YouTube. This was our first full year on YouTube. And as you know, we started out with just, making a little bit of money. And then as my memberships grow, the ad revenue continues to increase. So
subscriptions.
Yeah.
Not memberships. We don't have memberships.
Oh yeah, subscriptions.
It's memberships have a specific meaning on YouTube.
Right.
But last year, when I say last year, 2021, the channel got monetized November, I want to say 15th.
November, yeah.
And we made $300 and some in 2021. We were only monetized for about a month and a half.
And then this year was the whole year. And then as subscribers increase, then we get more each month. So this year on YouTube, I made $7,332. That means my total for the year was $135,807. But now, here comes the nitty gritty.
The painful part.
Yeah, the painful part. I only wish.
$135,000 would be living rich.
Yeah. In Tennessee, that's You know, we're in a state that does not have income tax or state income tax. He combined all the fees for all the platforms. So all the fees that I paid was $21,316. Now that's across all of the platforms that do pull fees. And then my shipping, $27,416. Crazy amount. But I don't do free shipping, so, you know, I did receive that as income up here in that amount, and then removed the shipping from there. And I do pad it just a little bit to help accommodate some of these fees. You know, it's just not straight. You know, I do calculated and then I do the flat fee. The total for fees and shipping across all the platforms is $48,732. And so my gross profit across all platforms is $87,075.
Now, when we say gross profit, accountants might have a different definition of gross profit. This is our Tennessee definition of what we call gross profit. So don't hold us to having the proper terminology
Right.
accounting-wise.
Right. Of the $135,000, about 64% of it was gross profit for me, which is the $87,000. So 64%. So my fees and shipping and all of that accounted for about 36%. Cost of goods is $12,942, which is a lot considering I have a lot unlisted. That was, we just had an amazing sourcing year, and opportunities like buying all the plush that I did from Kim and going to Prison to Profit, and we did a lot of extra sourcing. So, we do cash basis inventory system. So
Instead of accrual.
So, I don't do the end of the year inventory and figure out, how much inventory I still have. My costs are expensed when I make them. So all of that inventory, and especially like the one we just finished on this past trip, none of that's been listed, but it was all considered an expense. So one of the goals in the next few months is to get as much of this listed as we possibly can, because it's a lot, and I know that, and it's got our money tied up because, I spent all this money, but it's not listed. And my big mantra, you can't sell it if it's not listed, and I got a lot of unlisted right now.
So going back to the cash basis versus the accrual for inventory, talk to a CPA, talk to an accountant,
Figure out
someone that
what's
knows
best.
what is best for you. There are rules for it. We don't sell enough that we are forced by law to do by the federal, the IRS, to do the accrual method. Your state may have different rules that you fall under that require you to do the accrual method. It's a little more complicated. We do the cash basis because it's simple. And the way we buy things, it would be a pain for us to have to go like when we went to the Goodwill outlet in December, we bought 37
garbage bags.
30-gallon garbage bags full of stuff to resell. And it cost whatever it cost, $1,500 or whatever. I would not want to have to attribute. How do you do that? By pound, by item? It would just be a pain in the butt to try to do that. So for us, it would be way cumbersome to try to calculate the accrual method for that. Other people, way smarter than us. Well, they wouldn't have to be too much smarter enough to figure it out probably, but they can do the accrual method. And I know there are people online. I see people talking in groups about it. It's just more than we want to deal with.
Right.
But speak to your accountant. We are not accounting professionals,
Nope.
legal professionals, or medical professionals. So don't take any of that advice from us.
No. All right. And then our extra expenses is $25,595. And again, this is another good reason to go see an accountant, because they're going to be able to tell you all the different things that you can write off. This includes our mileage, my office supplies, new equipment that we've purchased, new shelving, new our internet, our phones. Just there's so many things. We take off a credit for office space in our home. What's it called?
The home office deduction, but there are specific rules, and the space has to be used exclusively for work, I believe. You cannot mix work and home stuff with it. Speak to a CPA about it and see the IRS rules. But this space we have here is entirely work
eBay,
related.
YouTube.
It's entirely used for that. And in my little knowledge of this, there are two ways you could do it. You could do the where you take a percentage of your mortgage interest or your rent. You pay part of your heating bill and your electric bill and your water bill and deduct all that. Or there's a standard way that you take, I think it's $5 per square foot. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. It's simplified, and we use more than the 300 square feet. So, but it's easier for us to do it that way. It's simple.
Right. And I spend a fortune on bags and boxes. A fortune. I just find the convenience of it better.
And there are things you could take. We pay for cloud storage for all the spreadsheets and stuff we keep, documents. We pay for that. That's a business expense. It's for business. So we take that, list perfectly. Any of the software pieces that you subscribe to, QuickBooks, we use that for our accounting stuff. All of that stuff is an expense, and it falls within that.
Yeah, all of that.
All that expense kind of stuff. Mileage is huge for us.
Mileage is big.
It's one of our biggest deductions because we don't live in a condensed area where there's a lot of yard sales near us. We have to drive lots of miles every week to hit these yard sales. Plus, we drove to the Prison to Profit. We drove to the Highway 127. We drove to St. Louis twice for sourcing.
So just definitely check with an accountant. Especially, if you're worried about your expenses and not understanding everything that you possibly can take.
Because you want to take every dollar you can, but you don't want to take more dollars than you're supposed to.
Right. All right. And then self-employment tax. We do because we are self-employed. So total of our expenses is $42,250. Right. So my net profit, $44,825. And there may be some other changes to that once we go and speak to the CPA, but that's based on just our years of experience of doing our own taxes, where we stand at this point. I had Robert divide everything out by like price points. How many items sold in each price range for me on eBay only. I sold about, I want to say 4,800 items last year. So I wanted to show how it broke down for me.
These total dollar amounts, these do not include shipping or fees. These are just the selling price.
Just what I charge. So if I sold something for $8, he only added it all together as the $8. So in under $10 sales, I had 1,822 items sold for a total of $13,263.16.
Pays the mortgage.
Paid the mortgage.
And more.
And then from $10 to $19.99, I sold 2,020 items, which that's the largest breakdown. So a lot of my sales are in the 10 to 20. And the total amount for them was $28,019.15. And then 20 to $29.99, I sold 574 items for $13,500.13. 30 to $39.99 is 195 items, so not very many in that price range, for a price of $6,509.20. $40 to $49.99, I sold 87 items, $3,800.63. $50 to $99.99, I sold 100 items for $6,548.60. And then over $100, I sold 30 for $5,802.54. So, when I'm saying I can find 100 items to sell at like $15 before I'm ever going to find something that I can sell for $100. It's just the area that I live in. I've learned over the last 23 years, 24. Yeah. This March will be 24 years on eBay that I've learned plush is a good thing for me to find. There's plenty of it here. It's relatively inexpensive, and I do okay with it. I'm okay with this price range.
We find a lot of those $10 items.
A lot of $10 items. And I'm not paying very much. And so right here, it said the total was 4,828 items for $77,000. What do I want to improve this year? You know, we all need to have goals. For me, first and foremost, right now I'm currently right under 10,000 listings. I think on eBay this year, I got close to 11,000, like 10,800 listings. And then fourth quarter, I don't list as much during fourth quarter. It seems just kind of get busy doing a whole lot more other things. But this year, my goal is to try by the end of the year to get to 15,000 listings. Hopefully I stay healthy. So on eBay, but also while doing that, I need to cross list more. I want to get, my goal has always been to get at least one other platform on each listing. It's a lot of work if you try to put everything on all of the platforms. So I try to do one or two because, I spend a whole lot of time delisting because, something sells on eBay or sells on Poshmark. So I just want at least one other platform for every item that can be. There's certain things on eBay I don't want to list on any other platform. So cross list more. Robert started Depop. I might try to cross list a little bit there. I don't know.
One thing that we might do with the cross listing is we've talked about maybe hiring a VA to help with cross listing. Mm-hmm. And if we could do that, then that might help expand sales on those other platforms quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And hiring a VA is simpler than hiring an employee, because I looked at hiring an employee and there's a lot of hoops and hurdles you got to go through to mm-hmm. make sure you're complying with all the relevant laws.
All right, reduce office expenses. Like the entire year we kept paying for Amazon, even though we weren't doing Amazon. I need to go through all of our expenses and make sure that we're not paying for stuff that we no longer use. Like we just canceled newspaper subscriptions and things like that. Just be more mindful of where all of our money is going.
Can we get away with using small bubble wrap and packing some things instead of large bubble wrap?
Right.
Can we get a cheaper source for the paper that we buy at... We bought it from Walmart last time mm-hmm. to do our packing with. I use newspapers, but we're not going to have as much newspaper anymore. So we got to find a good cheap source for that packing paper and try to pinch all those pennies that we can. Yeah.
And grow affiliate marketing. You guys have been wonderful in supporting our business and our channel, by things like going into the eBay affiliate link and, and some of our other affiliate links. And,
I didn't include that in this because I didn't want to go try to dig it all up, but it's not a lot of money. It's probably $1,000 maybe for the year total, I'm guessing. I can't remember. So it's not a lot, so I didn't want to... I've never had to dig all that up before. This is the first year we really had it, so I didn't want to try to go find it to get ready for this. But it's maybe $1,000 total by the time you count List Perfectly and eBay and the other ones. We suggest products to you all that we use, that we find useful and helpful, and we think are the best things to use for our business. And we want to recommend them to you because we think they're the best or the cheapest, at a good quality. So we recommend them to you so that you don't have to go do a whole bunch of digging to find things. And maybe you want to go digging anyway, because I'm a nerd. I like to go dig that kind of stuff up and do the research. But we do it to help everybody. And it's nice, and we're really grateful when you all click on those affiliates and purchase from them, because it helps us out. Every little bit adds up.
Every little bit adds up. Definitely. And we've also considered doing memberships. I haven't quite put my mind around what could I do that would help you guys in some way, and be a good use of all of our time. So,
we have a good life.
We have a good life.
And we want to share that with other people as to how to live a little frugally and work from home and stay home with your kids.
And homeschool, or, you know, make money to pay for vacations, or whatever it is your goal as far as this side hustle or this business, you know, supplement your retirement. Just, I want to be able to share as much of that with you guys, that, you know, because we're not young either. So, you know, we're already starting to plan.
I know,
y'all, 59 today. Today, 59.
So what would you all, if we were to do a membership, what would you all find useful?
And then we want to grow, of course, the YouTube channel. I think this year, you know, was our first full year of being monetized. And we started out with how many?
We had 1,000 around the middle of November, so just
not very much. And then, you know, we've grown to over 7,000. So it's, you know, hopefully grow that, you know, and it become an income also that, you know, we can, you know, add to our portfolio.
We enjoy it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. I hope this was helpful for you. Next year, hopefully we'll have it a little bit more organized. I can do more charts and all of that stuff, but it was just something I really wanted to get this information out before it just kind of got lost and I got busy, especially since I've been sick. I've got to start, hopefully, this week feeling better and then getting back into listing, because, you know, you can't sell it if it's not listed, right? All right. I think that's it. Anything else you want to add?
Happy listing?
Happy listing, right? Get to work. All right. Bye.